How's everybody doing today? We are on with the volume. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. That works. But also, my goodness, what an awesome day. It is starting to get warm here again in Southwest Florida because it was fucking cold. It was in like the 40 fucking degree range, 40 some degree range yesterday morning. That's fucked up. I did not sign on for this shit when I moved here. I moved here for it to be paradise all the goddamn time, plus freedom. Just kidding. It's awesome here. But I am happy it's warming up because I've gotten very, very, very used to warm weather. This shit was very cold. Hey, Janet, how are you doing? So today we're going to talk about why public health officials are a joke. And this, I mean, like in the best possible, most respectful way that a citizen should talk to their employees, because that's what these people are, and people should actually get there faster and realize that the public health officials are, in fact, our employees. Our tax dollars pay for them. They should serve us and only us, and they should make consistent, smart decisions based upon data and the best available current data. So I hypothesize that if we take a look at a few things that are happening around the globe, a few of you might have heard about this thing that's causing lockdowns and shit. A few of you might have, I don't know, like felt a change in your existence in the last 2 years, as have many. I find it kind of amazing that the life I lead here in Florida is very pre-2020, and I find it weird. What I find weird about it is that I have to actually say pre-2020. It's like still America and Florida. And people just kind of enjoy their lives in a healthy, happy way. It's kind of crazy watching the news kind of articulate that everything is horrible down here, and people are like, they make it seem like people are passing away in the streets and all sorts of crazy things, except for the politicians who come here to, after they say those things, come here to vacation. That's one of the examples of how you know that our public health officials are a fucking joke. Because if people that spoke out on a high level that are seated members of Congress who would be obviously briefed from public health officials, if they were truly afraid, would they be then coming to where they have proclaimed is like the most horrific place on the planet? And you're surely going to pass away from the bad cold that's been going around. So that's one of the reasons, like, I mean, I can honestly tell everybody that there are multiple reasons. Speaking from, I worked in healthcare for a long time. I can tell you that healthcare is about making money, and it is all about making money. And healthcare is also extremely, 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 extremely pharmaceutical based. Okay, like most of the research gets done through pharmaceutical companies. That's where most of the research goes to. Also, is to different drugs. It is extremely, and I mean fucking extremely, profit and pharmaceutical based. It is not even actually that healthy of an industry to be in. I was just talking to several of my clients today, which a good portion of my clients, about 40% of my clients, are in the healthcare field. Doctors, nurses, physicians' assistants, all that, all down the realm of it. And it's because it's a very unhealthy, very, very, very unhealthy profession. High stress, stand on your feet a lot. There's sleep patterns. If you're an on-call doctor or nurse or physician's assistant or anything like that, your sleep pattern is constantly interrupted. It's crazy, right? So let's see here. This terrible person was in charge of the pandemic response in PA. Dr. Levine is a supremely unqualified and was a virtue signal. I'm not going to disagree, but here's the thing. Dr. Levine, the biological male that is Dr. Levine, was in fact in charge of the healthcare of Pennsylvania, and is in fact the Assistant Secretary of Health for the United States. This is a person that, by the way, sent elderly people back to nursing homes that were positive with highly contagious pathogen, sent them back to nursing homes while pulling her own mother out of a nursing home and into a hotel. Like this, that actually happened. It's real. You can look it up. And this is not just a knock on her. We're going to go over many of the public health officials that have let us down. I did want to get to one that's coming up here. Here we go. Okay, so I am about to play you a video from NBC News from September of 2020, right? I'm going to want you to follow along with me, and I'm going to make a few comments, but I more than anything just want you to follow along and listen to what I have, like what statements I have to say about this, because I do have several things I would like to get off my chest about this the entirety of this thing. Just give me 1 second. Boom. Right. This is COVID-19 at colleges. Fauci warns not to send college students home. There are thousands of COVID-19 cases at colleges and universities. So we're going to get Dr. Fauci's reasoning on not sending college kids home in the fall of 2020, right? Give me a second. Why don't we just listen to Mr. Fauci?
I believe that by the time we get to the end of this calendar, we'll feel comfortable that we do have a safe and effective vaccine.
To the public more quickly.
So just so everybody understands, that was in September of 2020.
By way of an emergency use authorization.
I would not be comfortable with a vaccine unless it was shown in a clinical trial clearly to be safe and effective. I've been through a number of vaccine trials in which EUAs have ultimately been done, but they've been done when there was enough data that you would really feel comfortable that it was safe and effective for the American public.
And
I want everybody to understand that means that he's speaking for the advocacy of seriously vetting the jibby jab that hadn't happened yet. So apparently, for him to be saying right now that the jibby jab is perfectly safe and effective and good, that there was clear clinical evidence. I believe as our employee, I can speak for a large sector of society in saying, I'd like to see all that. I'd like for you to sit and thoroughly explain it to me. I'd like a public, a public presentation based off of the actual data to the entirety of the United States of why it is safe. I would like there to be several opinions, not just this person who's been in public office for a very long time. How about we get a roundtable of people to discuss the actual safety of it? Would this suggestion that I'm making right now, would that not do more to clear up any vaccine hesitancy and build trust back into from the people to the pharmaceutical industry than anything else? If this man who in this video from September very clearly claims that he will not back any type of therapy, the jibby jab at all, unless it has very clear clinical data showing that it is safe and effective. I would like to see him explain what he thought was safe and effective with the data that was available at the time, including all of the data as the American people are paying for that. So I am not saying that we should not be administering the jibby jab. I am saying that if he feels so strongly that the evidence is there, would it not help society if Mr. Fauci would sit down with himself and a bunch of other, even, dissenting opinions on why it is safe and effective, so we can go over the data that the people own anyway altogether. So that's just my little take on that. Like that, for that not to have happened, just so everybody understands, we're talking about why our public health officials are a joke. For that not to have happened, for so many things not to have happened, shows their ineptness. Like at some point in time, there should have been a sit-down breakdown. Like, we are going to have all of the expert scientists present all of this to the American people. Please watch. As an American citizen, we're begging you to watch this information. And then we're begging you to ask questions about this information so you are fully informed as to your risks. So you are fully informed as to who is at high risk, who is at nominal risk, what you can do to reduce yourself from being high risk. Our public health officials should have had all of those conversations in February and March of 2020. They should have been going over who was at high risk. They should have been going over who was in real trouble, who really needed to watch. Elderly people, obese people, people with the average of 4 or more other serious comorbidities. Obviously age is a huge factor. Obesity is the second factor. They should have been telling people, maybe it is time for you to lose some fucking weight. Maybe it is time for you to get a hold of your eating habits. We need to actually be very realistic. If your public health officials weren't an actual fucking joke, they would have been worried about the health of the actual population, the health of the actual public. They would have been making sure that people felt okay. You know what one of the actual comorbidities for serious outcome, hospitalization, and death from this novel pathogen was that we knew about? Anxiety, stress. So instead of them appeasing the entire audience and the entire world, because these are the public health officials, these are the people that should be informing the public about health, instead of them informing, they just did not have those things. They did not explain thoroughly. They did not make it so the public had informed consent about almost anything that fucking happened. I mean, instead, it was just this very serious, the world is ending, which just skyrockets anxiety, which also then leads to increased suicides, that also increase domestic violence, increase abuse of children. The stress of the population is shown anytime there's a financial or a global or a domestic or some sort of actual violent crisis, that those things, alcoholism, suicide rates, children being abused, those sorts of things all go up in stressful times. It's just reality. So, and then without explaining to you why and the benefit and the dangers to look out for lockdowns, because lockdowns, we know it is not a guess if the population being locked up under heavy stress was going to have negative outcomes for health and mental health and physical health and development for children and those sorts of things. It's not like we did not know these things. We did know, it is actually very well publicated. We use imprisoning people as punishment. Like everybody understands that we use imprisoning people as punishment. That's how we punish our criminals, is we isolate them and we imprison them. We know it has negative consequences. We absolutely do know it has negative consequences, and yet without explaining any of the possible things to look for, any of the possible negative aspects to look for, such as anxiety, such as stress, such as suicidal thoughts, they lock people down anyway and watch suicides and childhood development crash. They watch suicide skyrocket. They watch domestic violence skyrocket, alcoholism, drug overdoses, all just skyrocketed. We watched this. We knew it had very negative effects, not to mention the fact that they still, even though hospitals were not recording being overloaded at all, still made it so people could not get in for cancer screenings and shit like that. You're booming the portion of cancer, yet alone the other shit. But if you look at the very beginning, they're jokes, because they should have been informing the public of the possible actual real dangers, and they should have been informing them of the actual real risks involved with both the actual virus and then the possible suggested things that they then made orders. You understand? Like informed consent should have been happening. There are public health officials. So let's hear what the gremlin has to say next.
As COVID cases spike on many college campuses, schools are struggling with what to do with infected students.
So the campus is shut down and the kids go home.
It's the worst thing you could do. Keep them at the university in a place that's sequestered enough from the other students, but don't have them go home because they could be spreading it in their home state.
Labor Day is coming up.
So here's my big question, and you guys can check out the link to this if you wanted to listen to the whole thing. I'll put it down here, because we're going to move on after this. But here's my thing. And I want anybody, and I mean anybody, to have this. Well, I want this man to explain it. I would love to hear Dr. Fauci explain why in September of 2020, he said it was a bad idea to send college kids home because they could possibly be infected. and they could then be with the people in their house, their middle-aged parents, their elderly grandparents. Why it was not a good idea in September of 2020, after we had more information already about the novel virus, but it was a really good idea to guess that it wouldn't be an issue to send them home in March of 2020. Like, why in the fuck did think about college kids in spring that got sent home to their middle-aged parents and elderly grandparents? Think about this, right? Instead of saying shelter in place, you young kids who have probably been crawling all over each other at college, who just got back from spring break because you were crawling on other people from other colleges who were crawling all over other people. And then we all conglomerated back together after all of our different spring breaks at different part of the fucking country back to our university and crawled all over each other for another couple fucking weeks. They're going to send these kids home instead of having them shelter in place. Like, college kids in the beginning of 2020, in the spring of 2020, were likely the most possibly exposed candidates out of our population. They had been in contact with more people from different states and different locations and different countries probably than any other fucking group. Any other fucking group. And instead, we sent them the fuck home. Instead of having them fucking possibly just shelter in place at the university until we could fucking figure out what the fuck's going on. At the very least, they are a low risk population. And we knew this already by the fucking data early in 2020 also. At the very least, they're a very low risk population. So they could have possibly spread the virus amongst themselves and gained natural recovered immunity. And I know that's almost an illegal thing to say. I hope YouTube doesn't take it down because I said the word fucking natural immunity. But we could have had that happen, and very little no more danger to the kids, and much reduced danger to the people that they could possibly be infecting, like their middle-aged parents and elderly grandparents in different states, spreading it around the fucking country. I mean, it's a counterintuitive thing to do. If you are trying to actually slow the spread of a fucking virus, which the ridiculousness of this is insane. I mean, if you folks did any fucking research at all about fucking viruses, you're not going to you deal with it and try to mitigate it. You are not going to fucking you're not going to slow it. Nobody's going to stop COVID. Nobody's going to fucking defeat COVID. The genie was out of the bottle before it got to America. Fucking crazy talk. People, I mean, for real, it's fucking insanity, right? But if it was a problem, as Fauci just said, we don't want to do it, and he listed off the reason why we don't want to do it, why the fuck did they do it in March? When we knew less, much, much, much less. That's the fucked up thing. And then we're supposed to believe them. I'm sorry, but so then I'm supposed to somehow trust anybody's judgment? Anybody's judgment that said send these college kids home as a way to contain the virus is a fucking moron. I mean, it's just amazingly counterintuitive. I mean, you can't actually get to, hey, I don't want this to spread around the fucking country at an increased rate. Instead of having these college kids who could very likely have been exposed to it, but not have any problems with it because they're fucking young, and we know that young people have a less, much easier time for it. So they could possibly be infected. Let's shove these people into tubes and cars and shit like that and disperse them around the fucking country back to their fucking families and their fucking neighborhoods. How do you get there that's somehow containment? The moving of people around unnecessarily is containment? It's fucking crazy. I mean, that's the fucking thing, people. I mean, if you have to honestly sit back and take a look. And here's the thing: who fucking cares if it was intentional or not? If it was intentional, it just makes it worse. The doing of it makes them fucking idiots. The doing of it makes them fucking fools. If it was intentional, then that's a whole different conversation. And I'm not even saying that. I'm saying that these people are fucking fools. I mean, moronic fools. I literally could debate any public health official in America right now on the merits of why we would have sent college kids home and destroy them with the notes on my phone. Like any of them. It makes absolutely no fucking sense. Absolutely no fucking sense. it's not defendable. Like the debate would be short. The debate would be, does moving people around possibly spread it at a greater rate than keeping people isolated in one spot? Yes, we're done. Why the fuck you do it? I mean, like, if that's the case, we needed to lock down, but after we dispersed a bunch of fucking college kids back around the fucking country, are you fucking like? This is why people should not make decisions when they're in a highly emotional state, because America was in a highly emotional state at the fucking time and made a fucking ridiculous decisions that made no goddamn sense. And then now it seems like a bunch of people are fucking stuck in that fucking rhetoric. They're stuck in that. We have like new fucking shit out. This is no shit. Hang on a second. We have new shit out. Where's it at? I gotta fucking find it. 1 second. There's a new preprint study out that I wanted to fucking show you motherfuckers. I know I can get it. People are pissed about it on the channel already. So why not? Okay. Give me 1 more second here, folks. I'm just lining stuff up. I thought I had it ready. Oh, I didn't. Boom. Here we go. All right. So this is actually my community tab. That's not the one I wanted to share. Fuck. All right, here we go. This is the one I wanted to share. I'm going to blow it up here for you a little bit. All right, so there we go. So when clowns tell you what's best for you, what white public health is a joke. So that's one right there for me. Give me a second. Fuck. Here we go. Community. Here's the one I wanted. So, new study says lockdowns only reduce COVID mortality by 0.2%. Lockdown, school closures, and limited gatherings only reduce COVID mortality by 0.2% at enormous economic and social cost, study finds. Now, this is by Connor Boyd, Deputy Health Editor for Mail Online. I am going to go to the study, or go to this print of the article. Meta-analysis of 24 studies found that COVID lockdowns restrictions caused just 0.2% reduction in virus deaths. Economists who carried out review said border closures have virtually zero effect on COVID mortality, negative 0.01%. However, research found closing non-essential shops such was the most intervention caused 10.6% fall. The original coronavirus lockdowns had little to no effect on pandemic death tolls in the US, UK, and Europe, a controversial report suggests. Here's the thing, okay? Here's what I think people do not understand, like what people are not fully grasping about all this. There's not a way for them to even determine how many deaths have occurred because of the lockdowns. But it is literally going to be more. Like there's without a shadow of a doubt than COVID ever could have been. Just if you look at the overdose, the increase in overdose deaths alone, it's tragic. Children's educational and developmental and social retardation has been amazing. I mean, how can anybody justify these things? How can they not inform you that you locking your child away, throwing a mask on them, how can they not also tell you that if you do this, these are the possible negative outcomes to your child, including having a weakened immune system everything from weakened immune system, from lack of social interaction, because children need to build their immune system by actually exposing it to the environment, all the way to mental and learning deficiencies. Like, did they inform you folks that this was going to be a very serious, high chance possibility? No, they fucking did not. You know, this report that literally, the review led by the Johns Hopkins University professor argued that border closures had virtually zero effect. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. The shit that we fucking, the shit that we did to they're horrible. The thing about public health officials is they should be there to guide the public to the public making the best choice for that person. They are there to educate you. They are there to help make sure you have informed fucking consent. Public health officials are not public health rulers. Public health officials are not public health emperors. Public health officials should be there to inform you so you can make your own motherfucking decisions. I have yet to see in any fucking way, anybody justify any of the fucking actions these folks have taken that in any way slight their nose at the constitutional rights at all, whatsoever. That goes beyond anything, because those things, in my opinion, are worth dying for. So I don't know about other people, and I don't judge other people by their cowardice of thinking not. But I do think that for me is something worth dying for. Period. Okay. However, I don't see anything to justify in any way public health officials even being all that super fucking they should have absolutely been informing people of who is at risk and trying to get people's health down. They fucking know who the high risk people were. You can look back at fucking shit. Let me see if I can find this article for you. Hang on a second. Let me take a look here. This, how did we not still look at this shit? I'm still wondering, our public health officials have ignored so much. It's just like watching the CNN people all of a sudden pop up and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, obese people are a problem for this. And oh yeah, by the way, the fucking, Forbes. This is Forbes. I mean, them pretending like all of a sudden they realize facial decorations don't work. And to the point where, here's how fucked up this is, by the way. To the point where I still can't even really talk about how facial decorations by their real name and stay on fucking YouTube. The coercion is just fucking ridiculous. Ridiculous. So here's, are you at high risk? This is March 9th of 2020. Are you at high risk for serious COVID-19 illness? Here's what to do. If you are 65 years of age or older or have a chronic medical condition, you may want to think twice about air travel, the coronavirus 19 virus situation. Think twice may include trying to recall if you actually have your own private jet. If you do not have an airplane, consider the recommendations of the CDC now has those for high risk of bad COVID-19 outcomes. As the CDC website explains, older adults and people who have severe chronic medical conditions like heart, lung, or kidney disease seem to be at high risk for more serious illnesses. Early data suggests older people are twice as likely to have serious COVID-19 illness. If you want to learn more about it, go here, blah, blah, blah. The recommendation doesn't also exactly scream that it's okay to get on a commercial flight, blah, 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 blah. We go through all that. Now, hang on. I do want to find a couple fucking more. Because here's the fucking thing, people. This is the fucking reality. Like, people need to fucking understand. We knew all this shit. We knew these people were at risk. We absolutely fucking understood who was at fucking risk. But for some reason, this was only slightly mentioned. How can we not see? How can public health officials not see, hey, people with type 2 diabetes are people that are at high risk of very serious fucking problems here. Maybe I should try to reduce the number of people that have type 2 diabetes down. Instead, I'll lock them all down, not tell them about their problems, not make it seem like they're just at the same fucking risk as anybody else, and then fucking, suggest donuts and shit for reward for things. It's so fucking horrible. Like, I mean, I don't fucking understand how we got there. Like, I mean, tell people to lose fucking weight. That's your job. You're a public health official. You should have been telling the entire population of America to watch their fucking weight, try to eat healthy and get some activity. Like, that should have been the job of every public health official. They're fools. They're either fools or they're incompetent. And if they're in this incompetent, at this stage, we're past the point of incompetence. It has to be willful, like willful ignorance, willfully ignoring things like natural immunity, willfully ignoring things like the correlation with obese people, as was known from the very fucking beginning. Willfully ignoring these things costs lives, motherfuckers. That costs a lot of people's lives. So while this may not be a popular opinion amongst the fucking YouTube crowd or anything like that, because YouTube and the fucking social medias decide to protect all this shit, but I can say openly, and I fucking know that the things I just pointed out in this first half an hour are irrefutable. Like, I could debate any public health official and ask them why we sent college kids home and if they think that was the right fucking decision. I mean, it actually goes against then their terms of like the idea of a lockdown right afterwards. It is so oxymoronic that it happens one right after the other. Like, we send a bunch of college kids home that have been exposed to a bunch of fucking people from around the fucking world. Who the fuck knows, with 6 degrees of just even like 2 or 3 degrees of spring break rubbed on sex and sweat. What the fuck? I mean, like, they've been all over each other for fucking months. And then we send them back, and then all of a sudden we tell them not to move. So moving after they got back to their houses became very bad. Don't let them even go to the fucking store, and heaven forbid they go to a fucking gym and be healthy. I mean, what the fuck? Like, all that's a problem after we send these kids the fuck home. Like, we move them all over the fucking country, and then we tell everybody sit the fuck down. Tell me how that makes sense. I can debate, I could crush any of them that stood for it. Any of them that made that fucking call. Any of them that did not then warn people, but hey, maybe you might want to quarantine that kid because of this. Or hey, why don't we just fucking keep them there to avoid the fucking issue of all the travel and extra shit. I mean, fuck, people. We had people who were not sick going in mass tens of thousands of fucking days to different fucking locations to get tested for a virus they didn't think they fucking had, or they didn't know if they fucking had. Somebody tell me how that makes fucking sense. Tell me how much that makes fucking sense. Anybody. I'm sorry. I understand that many of you have spent like fucking the last 2 years calling me a conspiracy theorist and shit like that for saying this shit. But I don't fucking get it. Like, show me in some way how them not telling you to lose fucking weight was in any way in the public health. It would be in public health interest if in 2019 there was having a public health advisory every fucking week of why we were too fucking fat. Like, it would have been their job in 2019 before all this stupid shit happened. As public health, our public health officials should have been telling everybody to lose fucking weight before 2020. I mean, decades worth of fucking studies showing that being morbidly obese is bad for you. They're not saying shit at all. Why should we trust them in the fucking first place? And then they fucking go ahead and send college kids home because they're fucking total idiots. I mean, people, it's not even a fucking debate. Like, I mean, they couldn't possibly debate their way out of it. The thing that is dependent upon by these officials is that they get to make a statement in a vacuum. They only get to be asked questions that they already know the answer to, that they've already approved of on camera. You can bet your fucking ass that's what's fucking happening. And they're still fucking it up, by the way, Like, these people know the questions that are normally coming to them. They normally very fucking seriously know what questions are coming to them. And then they always have the option to not answer, as we've seen by many of them being presented in front of Congress and avoiding questions about, I don't know, origins and shit. It is ridiculous. These public health officials are either complete fools or complete tyrants. You pick. You pick which one, but if you follow that bullshit, and are not thinking for yourself, please understand, you need to start thinking for your fucking self. Because here's my thing. By this video on YouTube, please listen carefully. I'm not saying that they're doing this intentionally. I'm saying that me, as an American citizen, would like some clarity as to why we told college kids to go the fuck home when we thought there was some sort of crazy, amazingly dangerous pathogen floating around that we had very little fucking information about, that we then 6 months later or 3 months later came to our fucking senses and we did not want them to travel home. The same person was likely in on that fucking decision twice and made two completely different decisions based off of the same data, if not better data, by September. I mean, what the fuck? So was it a mistake? Like, that's the thing. Like, it can't be defended. You know, I'm not even going to get into the fucking facial decorations, how they are all like, oh my God, wear one, wear two. Two would be better. Shit, two would be better. And then all of a sudden, well, they're just facial decorations. Like, how do you still have faith in that shit? I mean, it's fucking crazy. Anyway, that is my presentation. I still challenge, and I want you guys in the comments to challenge in any fucking way how that one bit of fucking data right there, that one thing right there, that they should have been informing people, that they should have been asked, maybe not sending these college kids home, that they should have been telling people what the possible dangers of lockdowns were, and to start watching if you're having suicidal ideation, and start watching if your alcohol consumption starts getting habitual and increasing fashion. Start watching to see if you're having trouble controlling your anger around your family. Start watching to see if, making sure you're doing more body checks to make sure, since you can't get to the hospital to get your normal cancer check, you fucking should be. I mean, this is the fucking thing. They did not give a fuck about anything else. They made it seem like this one fucking cold was literally the most dangerous thing on the fucking planet. More people died of obesity in 2020 than died of the vid. More people, I would almost guarantee, I'm not even going to include the fucking medical errors that were done with the vid, because we can talk about ventilators for a long fucking time. But I'm talking just a medical error. Medical error kills 250 to 440,000 people a fucking year. Medical error alone probably killed more people than the vid in 2020. What the fuck's wrong with you people? I mean, it's just fucking silliness. If you look at cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, you look at these things that are lifestyle driven, and then you add on the lifestyle drivenness of fucking of the vid. I mean, shit, 90% of all type 2 diabetes cases are avoidable by lifestyle change. 80% of all type 2 or 80% of all cardiovascular disease is avoidable by lifestyle change. 50% of all cases of stroke is avoidable by lifestyle change. And 35% of all cases of cancer are avoidable by lifestyle change. And as it very seriously looks, a huge portion, and I mean enormous portion, of the vid fatalities and serious illness can be avoided with lifestyle change too. Like, that is actually, it's just one of them. Does everybody seem to understand that? It's just another thing that would be made much less severe by lifestyle change. Like, by making it so it doesn't sound like you can barely fucking move after you've moved for 5 fucking minutes. Like, this is why our public health officials have let us down. They don't give a fuck about your health. They give a fuck about your consumption. They want you to still consume fucking pharma and all the food and shit like that. Like, you motherfuckers need to get there faster. You're the fucking cash cows. I mean, you're the return fucking investment. Try to get yourself fucking healthy. And this is what we do. And I'm going to fucking put our coaching fucking link back down. What we literally fucking do with our clients is try to help them build a healthier fucking lifestyle. Because without a healthy lifestyle, you cannot fucking stay healthy. I mean, this is not a fucking crazy thing, like a crazy fucking suggestion. You just fucking can't stay healthy. You know, it is important that you would fucking try to in today's world, because as you've seen, as you can see, being healthy is very fucking important. There's the coaching link right there. I'm going to put out to everybody. We have a coaching special just live every single day for one person wants to take us up on it in the chat. It's a massively discounted price. We help you develop a better lifestyle, a healthier lifestyle, bit by bit. We just have you make systemic little changes, and then when those become habit, we systemically little change you again, and the next thing you know, you're leading a much healthier lifestyle than you were before. So, but this shit we do that by informing people. We do that by talking to them about what's going on in their life. We do that by daily communication, weekly video conference calls. We literally do that by finding out what the person's actual issues are and fixing them, not just making a blanket statement like these public health officials did and saying like, just stay inside. I mean, just stay inside. That is so unfucking healthy for everybody. I mean, it's fucking crazy talk. In fucking sane crazy talk. I'm going to start taking some questions here, guys. Hey, Alan, I know you have spoken about plans that would be implemented to improve health, but would love to hear your thoughts on where you're seeing where you see this realistically going in the next few years. We're going to get much fatter. I do believe that there's going to be a very serious wave of focus on anti-obesity pharmaceuticals, mostly that are going to be very expensive, that could be that will possibly raise the rates of fucking issues, that have large side effects also, but also there's going to be a very serious push for gastric sleeve and even a few other weight loss procedures done to reduce the size of the digestive surface area, normally the stomach. I think that that's going to be very prevalent. I think for some people that need to buy themselves a little time to get better health habits, I think that bariatric surgery is very, 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 very important. The problem with both bariatric surgery and the way they do pharmaceutical drugs for obesity, pharmaceutical drugs done for obesity are normally coupled, by the way, with exercise and proper nutrition. Like you can't actually use it and not exercise, not eat proper nutrition, and still have it work. Normally, it makes the person even sicker. But I do think that the problem with those things is it doesn't necessarily teach good lifestyle. Those that are successful on things like Wegovy and a few other drugs that they're going to come up with will be the ones that actually develop a very healthy lifestyle throughout. And I still expect some weight gain. Even their clinical studies showed that it went decently down, just like you would expect. And then about week 62, I believe it was, there was this slight tick up of weight regain while still on the pharmaceutical that they can't actually stay on due to the side effects, like long-term side effects. I really do not see people making a humongous effort to get healthier. I just don't. I think that people are going to stay distracted and terrified, and then a huge portion of these people are going to stay in the bubble. And that's very scary because, again, like public health officials have let us down, in my opinion. And I'd welcome anybody to fucking debate it. But I do think that the message being delivered that being obese is okay, is dangerous. I mean, people should understand, like in the same years that they have not warned you about getting fatter, about all these things, while we're in the throes of such a serious pandemic that we've had to fucking trash society and children's futures for, like Cosmopolitan has had like obese people on their cover like 5 times saying this is healthy and accusing that they're being like this anti-fatness and fitness and all sorts of shit, like making it illegal to actually say things like, if you're fat, you're not healthy. Like Tess Holliday should lose like fucking 250 fucking pounds. Like, I mean, things like, being morbidly obese and not doing something about it when you have young children is not very good to your children. I mean, it teaches them very fucking poor life skills. They're probably going to end up morbidly obese just the same way you are, and you're not going to be there for them for a long portion of their life unless they get so sickly because they got obese younger than you got obese. Like the younger you get obese, the younger you get and stay obese, the worse outcome it has on your life. The shorter is your fucking life. This is science. But until we start to, stop denying, the problem is we have the science, which has been followed for 2 years, and actual science where people look at the data and have dissenting opinions and have discussion and then come to like kind of a consensus. There is no scientific consensus right now based on the fucking lockdowns and shit. Like, I mean, there's consensus that it actually causes problems that wasn't discussed. That's a fucking thing that was already known. But I really think that like a certain portion of people, hopefully a lot of people, will see the wake up call and try to find ways to even just improve their life a little bit. If everybody just got a little healthier, just the same way we coach, if we could just get people to be a little healthier, not fucking, no, we don't need a fucking army of fucking, we don't need everybody to all of a sudden rush towards being an army of fucking super soldiers. But if we could get everybody to like, I don't know, not like fucking move just a little, like not actually just fucking sit on the fucking couch all fucking day long, move just a little bit, like reduce down the fucking processed food intake to fucking like 1 time a day. Like the fucking food pyramid by these fucking public health officials has 11 servings of fucking processed carbs on it. 11 fucking servings. It's fucking tragic. I mean, it really is. It's fucking tragic. It's anti-health. It is absolutely anti-health. And I debate it with any of them. Let's see. Hey, Alan, thank you for your work, research, and your voice. We appreciate you. Thank you very much, Warhammer. I fucking appreciate it. Everybody knows being obese is very unhealthy. Just like everyone knows that smoking is bad, but they don't want to stop because of something saying it's unhealthy. Someone saying it's unhealthy. Exactly. Like that's the thing. Like we know it is. Like it's this big fucking societal lie. We have to hear. Like I'm sorry. It sounds so fucking ridiculous and so fucking childish when I have to hear these fat acceptance people be like, "You can't judge me by my fucking weight." Like motherfucker. Yeah. I can judge your habits absolutely by your weight. I can judge a lot by your fucking weight. I'm not judging you as a person. I'm judging the fucking habits that led to this shit. I'm judging the fucking problems that you have with your fucking life. And I'm judging the problems that you're probably going to have for your health and how it's going to affect you, your family, and society. And that's my big thing. Right now, this is no shit. Thank you for your intensity and passion. Zach of all trades, thank you fucking very much. I appreciate it. But that's what I keep saying. Like these people, like it gets to be very fucking draining sometimes to fucking just constantly be like having to listen to this childish bullshit. Like, oh, you're healthy, you're fine. You can't judge me because by my weight. Like that shit's actually come out of the mouth of Tess Holliday looking 400 fucking pounds. Yeah, I fucking can. You're in shitty shape. Ask your fucking knees. I mean, it's just bad. And yet we have to have these arguments. And then the fucked up thing is when society jumps up and says, like, don't fat shame her. I'm not fat shaming nobody. I'm letting this woman know that she's fat as fuck. And if she doesn't do something about it, she is going to be in big trouble. And her kids are also going to be short a fucking parent way before they fucking need to be. Always find it amazing how I get to be some kind of shamer and other people that look out for other people's health, there's something wrong with us. Well, we're trying to encourage them to live longer, happier, healthier, fuller lives for them and themselves, their children, their fucking communities, society, since we're judging society on fucking health, like how truth is somehow now made to seem like it's fucking villainous. What the fuck? I mean, it's so ridiculous. It's so insane. The Romans were awful. Hedonists before the society collapsed. Correlation. I mean, fucking think about it. I'm waiting for the Where Are They Now fat influencers article in 10 years. There won't be one. There'll be a bunch of fucking pictures of tombstones. Tammy's sister lost 115 pounds in 115 pounds in a month at the hospital because she wasn't able to stuff her body to the brim with food for once in her life. That's fucking crazy. 150 pounds in a month. Because think about the caloric intake of that. Think about the caloric intake of that. Holy shit. Thank you all for your tireless commitment to the truth of health. I am a personal trainer in Chicago, and you continue to inspire me. Thank you very much, Lisa. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. And Janet, how do I get the people around me to do something about their health? Like coworkers who don't seem to understand that they are unhealthy because of their diet and lifestyle. Such a good question. Like lead by example, yes, but like the fucked up thing is like it's gotten so flipped. Like at no point in time should we have ever viewed a society of somebody cooking their own food to be foreign. You know what I'm saying? Like it's such a systemic issue to the point where like a huge portion of the younger population does not even know how to cook their own fucking meals. So trying to get them to be healthy is like getting people to be healthy nowadays is very hard because a lot of these people don't even know what it's like to fucking take care of themselves fully. Like, I mean, it's pretty fucking that's where I would like, you know, good wholesome home food is where I would start with everybody. But trying to convince them that they need to fucking show them some diabetic amputation photos and shit. So when did we all become so helpless? That's a great fucking question. These people act like I mean, so you can't hear somebody even say like for a while right before all this happened. Like when I knew fucking the world was going absolutely crazy, they were putting an asterisk on the E in obesity because they couldn't even stand to see the word. If you can't stand to see the word obesity, your fat ass knows you're fat. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, I mean, that hurts people's feelings. But if you cannot even stand to see the word obesity, you need to check some serious fucking reality. Like if the word hurts you, and I'll say this all the time, the word is not going to hurt you nearly as bad as the fucking actual reality of it. The word cannot possibly mentally hurt you more than a diabetic amputation. I'm just fucking saying, you know? And for people that say, well, it hurts some people to the point where they overeat, get fucking counseling. But being that fragile in a real world where people really starve to death, where people are really getting tortured, where people really are dying for their freedoms in other countries, where people are literally being beheaded now. You being hurt by the fucking word obesity is the most entitled bullshit I've ever fucking heard. I mean, we literally live in a country where words hurt us so bad we can't even fucking say it, and possibly guessing the gender somebody decides to be called that day is so fucking wrong that they will literally try to destroy a person's entire fucking world. That's how soft of a fucking society we live in. Instead of somebody's like, people say shit about me all the fucking time. I'm like, okay, like fucking, I did a video yesterday. Tess fucking Holiday, who literally talks about how she has been destroyed her entire life by people talking about her fatness and now anorexia. She is calling, like, who would listen to Joe Rogan because he looks like Uncle Fester? Like, actually fucking saying, don't listen to him because he looks like Uncle Fester. First of all, why would you not listen to Uncle Fester? Just because he's an eccentric old fuck does not mean he does not have some fucking intelligence. He was more, I tell you this, Uncle Fester is smarter than Tess Holiday. You know why? Uncle Fester reached an age that Tess Holiday probably isn't gonna. I mean, that's the fucking reality. You know, I don't get how that's even an issue, but she literally obviously derogatorily referred to him looking like Uncle Fester because of his baldness or whatever, and that means who would listen to him? That's how hypocritical these fucking people are. I can say this. I now know, and I wasn't sure, but I now know that woman literally does not believe a fuck thing she says. That it is all ego. She is a fucking narcissist and knows that, in my opinion, of course, she knows how absolutely fucking horrible and disgusting it is that she is claiming to be anorexic and is doing it for the views and does not give a shit. She is doing it for the fucking views. She is insulting anorexics for the fucking views. I believe that. Because now, I mean, she's also got a series going on where she is eating every bit of fast food on her TikTok that she can get her fucking hands on camera. So anorexic of her. It's fucking insane. But people like her, you know, who are then going to judge Joe Rogan, like on his fucking looks, you know, saying that the only reason why he's famous is because he got people to eat roaches. Like, the only reason why you're famous is people look at you and say, holy fuck, that chick's fat. That's just reality, Tess. That is literally why people know Tess Holiday. It's because she's fat. That's the end of that conversation because it literally can't be that. That's hopelessness. Like, for her to be somebody that is like can openly state to people I'm going to eat all this shit. I'm also anorexic. Like, I mean, people actually look up to this woman. People are fucking hopeless. You're right. People are fucking hopeless. Fucking super, super, super sad. Even as a morbidly obese person in their 60s. Ever seen a morbidly obese person in their 60s? Rarely. And I would say this. When normally it's because they get to be morbidly obese in their 60s. Like they become so, most morbidly obese elderly people were not morbidly obese when they were younger. They just end up morbidly obese due to the sedentary nature of their illness or something like that. So I look really healthy. We've changed stuff up a little bit. My workouts will be increasing too. So this is the time of year where they get really intense. Crystal's suspension system program is up on deck. Fucking crazy. It's going to be nuts. I think taking home education out of school did a lot to this. I fucking agree. Every child should have home ec in high school. High school is to prepare them for adulthood. High school should not be to prepare them for college. That is fucked up. High school should be prepare them for the real fucking world. High school should be able to prepare them so they can cook their own fucking food, change a fucking tire, do fucking basic math, and everything else on top of that is good. But their fucking basics of what they fucking need to do and how to fucking earn a living should be fucking done. That's what should be covered. If Spotify puts warnings on Rogan's YouTube, that they should do that. YouTube should do it with mukbangs. Absolutely. Let's see here. All right, guys. Any questions? I got it to 205 recently. I got it to 205 recently. I should weigh 180. So then, what got you up to that, dude? Or dudette? Rodolfo? Oh, dude, what's up? So you should weigh 180. You got up to 205 recently. Unplanned or what? We got 4 more minutes. I just want to answer a few more questions. I did want to tell everybody one more time. Boom. Here's the live coaching special. Please do check it out. We got 1 slot available today. That is it. 1 spot available. And planned, I gained 50 pounds. Good for you. 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 I hope you did it in a healthy way. Neither do I, Warlord. People are answering other people's questions. All right, guys. So tomorrow's live is going to be at 7 a.m. I'm not sure the topic yet. I'm not sure. I'm going to try to have it be a little bit more either lighthearted and or weight loss questioning. Okay. So what we'll do is I will go over a topic and then we're going to go pretty much pivot to straight weight loss and suggestion. I like to have at least 1 Q&A every week where I cover anybody's possible questions for help them for weight loss. So let me know what you're fucking what you're fucking thinking. If you guys want to, in the comment of this video, put in suggestions for topics and stuff like that, I fucking will possibly pay attention. I normally have an idea of what I'm doing, but I don't like pandering to the audience. So just to be real, you can put it in. You know, I'm probably not going to do it. I already have in mind what I'm doing. So anyway. Sorry about that, and I'll be up at the gym here. Casey, excellent. You missed it. I'm sorry, Sarah, you did. I'm finishing up. I got some writing I got to get done. Hope everybody has a great goddamn day. Goddamn.